everyone. Welcome to Gymha'S live show. I'm Dauda Mutiu Abdulkareem, Gymha'S Ambassador. Welcome you all to today's live show. And today, making the World Health Mental Health Day, Gymha'S Ambassador are organizing a live show on the theme Making Mental Health and Well-being for All a Global Priority. With me, I have amazing ambassadors of GYMHA and panelists who will be discussing on this particular. With me, I have Sandeep Nath. Sandeep Nath is an empowerer, author, and a renewalist. And also have GYMHA GYMHA's ambassador. Welcome to today's discussion and live show. It's nice to have
Hi,
you
thank
guys
you.
on board.
Thank
you
you.
very much.
It's a pleasure to be with Gymha.
Being here.
So today is the World Health Mental Health Day. World Mental Health Day. So what do you think, or what do you have to say on mental health and well-being for all a global priority? Sandeep Nath.
Thank you. May I request the other panelists to go on mute so that our audience can hear us more clearly? Thank you. And Dauda, thanks for opening that question with
Pardon, your question again?
mute, please. It's a very significant question that we have laid out for this year, and it's not just us; it's the United Nations, the entire fraternity, which is catering to mental health, which is
I
us.
didn't get your question.
I'm hearing some feedback. I'm sorry about that, viewers. So the important thing is about the well-being, and how does that become something which is beyond just mental health. Mental health is the basic construct.
I'm not hearing anything.
Maybe it's the network issue. We can hear you.
You can't hear me? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. You can hear you.
I'm sorry, viewers, but we're having some audio issues here. Can we all just mute so that we don't hear anybody else? Dauda, can you hear me? Can the viewers hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Excellent. So, mental health is a very basic construct for our well-being. Now, what is well-being? Well-being is the feeling of being in a state where we are harmonious, where we are aligned, where we feel that we are not in dissonance with ourselves. Our being, we are human beings, right? Our being is in a state where our body, our mind, and our spirit, they all feel same way. And in order to talk about well-being, and this panel we're going to be talking about the way that mental health, well-being, and global prosperity get connected. I'd like to just start you as a viewer to think about, where does the global prosperity come from? If we have to be prosperous, each one of us has to be prosperous. That's how the global prosperity comes about. So if I feel that I am not prosperous, if I'm lacking in some way, if I'm out of my alignment, if my body, my mind, my spirit are not feeling good and are not harmonious, then I am the exclusion to global prosperity. And these exclusions contribute to more than 93% of the people on the planet. Only 7% of the people on the planet have actually reported in studies that they feel that they are working in harmony, they are synchronized. So which means we are today talking about a malady which is to the extent of almost the entire planet, feeling out of prosperity, feeling out of harmony, feeling out of the sense of well-being. That's what we hope to address today, and GYMHA would be focusing on as its agenda for this year, because this is the mandate that we've laid out for the year, the theme we've laid out for the year, on bringing global prosperity. Now, since I'm the first speaker, Dauda, may I just introduce the viewers to GYMHA as well? A lot of our viewers are, of course, part of GYMHA, but there may be some people who are new. And what you guys have to know is that we are a global organization. And so the global prosperity begins where an organization is already connected across the world. And we are in Australia, we are in India. I'm speaking from India, and I have friends here from various parts of Africa, from Eastern Africa, Zimbabwe, and Zambia, and all the way to Western Africa with Nigeria, and practically 20 countries would be covered by GYMHA in the African continent itself. So we are here in Asia, Australia, Africa, parts of Europe, parts of the Middle East, and we are spreading everywhere where we can reach out to youth who can be helped by better assistance in terms of mental health. So we're working on this journey of making making well-being globally available for everybody, especially the youth. And of course, well-being does not happen unless the mind is well. So I'll talk more about that later. Over to you again, Dauda.
Oh, that was very wonderful. Thank you very much for sharing your insight on making mental health and well-being for all a global priority. As you can see, viewers, as you are listening, you know that GYMHA, which is Global Youth Mental Health Organization, are creating awareness in trying to make all human beings across the globe to have a good mental health so that they will be having a better well-being. And you know, without having a better well-being, a good mental health, your well-being will be affected. Things you do on a daily basis will be affected. So thank you, Sandy, for sharing with us a wonderful knowledge on what we do at GYMHA and how we progress in making mental health and well-being our priority at GYMHA, because that is one of the essentials of life. So Chijioke, would like to hear from you. What's your perspective, or how do you think making mental health and well-being for all a global priority? Yeah, Chijioke, can you hear me? Hello, Chijioke. I think we're having some connectivity issues. Mr. Sandeep, can you hear me? Hello.
I'm able to hear you perfectly, Dauda. Okay, I think you may have to unmute. Thank you for joining us and for being in the chat box. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Bukola. See many others. Thank you, Dr. Nita. Please keep contributing. Please
I
ask
think
your questions. Please ask
I
where in
think
your priorities this is a problem.
I think we can't hear Sandeep Nath. So, viewers out there, if you have any question, anything you think you want to add, you could get to us via the chat box. Thank you for coming and thank you for joining us. So, Mr. Sandeep, I think we'll continue since we couldn't get in touch with Mr. Chijioke due to network issue or some connectivity issue. So, I'd like to move to the next question, which says, uh, as a member of GYMHA and an ambassador of GYMHA. What do you think? What is your experience of in GYMHA, and what has GYMHA done in making your mental health and in making your health, mental health and well-being stable in your life so far since you've joined GYMHA? Your experience in
Yeah.
GYMHA, please.
Yeah, so that's great because we were talking about how Gymha is across the world and we are reaching out to youth, and we like youth and organizations to reach out to us and allow our team, which is spread all over the world, to help you in organizing and structuring your state of personal health, as well as that for your employees, for people in your organization, so that you can have better formed teams. Now, before I talk further about how Jimha could play a role as an ambassador, I'd like to just pull back and talk a little more about the connection between mental health, well-being, and profitability, and productivity and performance at an individual level. Because often we feel that well, it's okay to be sad about something or angry about something or fearful. Everybody fears the same things. Why is it any different if I do that? But what we don't realize is that everybody's got a different set point. The set point is where you break at a certain point because you are not able to take enough of it. And you do not really know your set point unless you communicate with others on a one-to-one basis and find out how they are doing, how you could be doing. You could be benchmarking yourself, you could be confiding in them and understanding whether your problem can have a different perspective, and whether that perspective is going to help reduce the kind of stress that you have because of the problem. Jimha will step in there. You can connect with our ambassadors, you can work with our members also, and allow so many psychologists, psychiatrists, public health professionals who are present among our team as members to guide you and to bounce off your set points and give you a listening ear. We will not give you serious advice because that's not what you need. All the advice you need, you might be getting from inside if you just learn how to tap into your inside. So, learning how to tap into an inside, learning how to allow that mind to connect with the body for and the spirit for that harmony that I was talking about earlier is a very important thing. And please reach out to the GYMHA ambassadors to get that sort of a confidant that you can talk with. I'd also like to talk about the body mind connection as we know it from ancient wisdom, because I personally come from the space of ancient Oriental wisdom. I have invested 15 years in understanding what we knew thousands of years ago in China, in Japan, in Tibet, and in India. And I put together the wisdom of all that to present solutions for complex modern problems. we have we have created those complex problems because while designing our lives and business, we have forgotten the wisdom that we always knew. And the wisdom that we always knew is the wisdom of the heart mind. We don't separate the brain and the heart, the conscious and the subconscious. In ancient wisdom, the conscious subconscious are all part of a heart mind, which is what leads us forward. So when you connect with another individual, and what I was saying, you can count on the GYMHA ambassadors as confidants or any of our membership team. What will happen is that you will be able to share your deepest uh, issues emotionally as well as logically, because the heart mind is one with somebody, and that energy of that connection will help you arrive at the answers from within yourself. So that's the role that you can count on from GYMHA's ambassadors and other people on the call. And please feel free to become a member of GYMHA, connect with us, and get yourself to start talking about anything that is creating a problem in your life, mental well-being, whatever. So over to you, Dauda.
Yeah, thank you very much for sharing wonderful knowledge as we are discussing. We have wonderful panelists who just joined us. We have Jonathan Bowie, an author and also a public speaker. He's also GYMHA's ambassador. You're welcome. Yeah, Mutiu also is one of GYMHA's ambassador and a volunteer. You're all welcome, please. Yeah, as you can see, we started the discussion not long ago. So we are discussing on how we make mental health and well-being for all a global priority. So, Mr. Chidioke, can you hear us now? Hello, Mr. Chidioke. I think you're having network issues. So, thank you, Mr. Sandy, for sharing your knowledge and your insight and view on how GYMHA has contributed to your mental health and well-being, and also how to make a mental health and well-being a priority. So, as you all know, to the viewers out there, your mental health and well-being is a priority, is an essential part of your life that you need to look after. In GYMHA, Mr. Sandeep has shown us how GYMHA educates us and try to train us on how we have mental health stability to enhance our well-being. We also have some other trainings to go for, like the stress management training in GYMHA. That will also make you to understand how to manage stress in the work area. So GYMHA has a lot to offer, as the rest are will be listed as we discuss. Uh, Ms. Kadja, can you hear us? Yeah, we can't hear you. Please, can you speak louder? Mr. Sandeep, can you hear? Okay. So, what's your view on making mental health and making mental health and well-being for all a global priority? What do you think? How do you think we could make mental health and well-being for all a global priority?
I'm not able to
Yeah,
hear
we can't
Kajya,
hear
but
you, Ms.
Dauda,
Kadja.
you are very, very clear.
You said?
I can hear you very clearly,
I think
Dauda, but I'm not able to hear Kajya.
uh, I think they're having some technical issues over there. So to the viewers out there, as you can hear, as you all know, GYMHA is here to make your mental health and well-being a priority. We've gone far at GYMHA to promote a good or a stable mental health across the globe by trying to incorporate the youth, especially, into the organization. It's a non-profitable and a voluntary organization that enhance mental health. And you know, these days in the world, about 80 to 70% are suffering from mental health issues, either directly or indirectly. It might not be you, but according to Mr. Sandy, you need to connect to people around you before you'll be able to know what they are passing through. Some people are dying in silence. So that will cause a lot of damage, like depression and some kind of mental instability. Just like the past live show we just had, which discussed about drug abuse and substance abuse, how to how to curtail those kind of actions, not to affect our mental health. So at Gym, I will do a lot of events, we do a lot of programs to educate people and to enlighten people that their mental health and well-being is very important, and it's a priority that they need to keep in check, because you don't need to feel bad because something happened to you, or you think as committing suicide is the best option when you face some kind of problem in life. In life, you need to understand that there are ups and downs, but your ability to stabilize yourself and to be able to control those actions that life throws at you is what makes you a better human being. And by so doing, there's need for you to engage in discussion and to also uh, read some books and get knowledge from professionals who knows how to or who has encountered such problem and knows how to control such problem in case you are having one. So you don't just sit down because you are being faced with an issue and you think that's all and life has nothing for me. I should just be there. Or maybe when you are faced with some kind of ailment like addicted to drug abuse and in you you want to quit that, so you don't know how to. So the best way is that you seek for knowledge. When you don't seek for knowledge, that is when you die in that poverty of the brain, I would say. But when you seek for knowledge, you tend to have so many options and ways in which you could solve your problem. It could be maybe in your workplace you are being overloaded, but you don't know how to control that particular scenario, and it's affecting you. Maybe it's affecting your sleep or affecting the way you do things, because definitely you will get tired. When your mental state is being affected, it affects your physical state too. So please try to get in touch and attend most of this program. As you can see, is doing its best to make sure it spread uh, this particular knowledge on mental stability, because the whole of human function or human body function has to go with your mental state. If your mental state is not stable, they work hand in hand with your physical state. So without stability of mental state, your physical state, everything you do will be affected. So please try to look at your neighbor, try to look at your friends, make sure you know you interact with them, come close to people, make sure you make them feel at home. Some people will be like having some kind of diseases like HIV and AIDS, but we don't know how to help them. Maybe by running away from them, make creating this distance will affect them, because they will be thinking, why is this person running away from me? I've contacted the worst disease in the world. No, instead of that, you bring them close. That's what GYMHA is teaching us, the strategies on how to help people to have a good mental health balance and a good life. So please try to know how to work in your environment, how to understand people, what they are passing through, how to intervene, when to intervene, and when not to intervene. Because some people might not want to hear, but you try to look at the situation whereby when they want to share, you listen to them. Not that because they don't want to share at the beginning, then when they want to share, you neglect them. It makes them feel sober and bad. That will create a mental imbalance in them and will derive them to taking a negative action. So please, let's try and look at how we do things in our environment to promote mental health and well-being across the globe. So, Mr. Sandy, what do you have for the audience, or what do you think as a piece of advice in ways? Maybe you can have 2 to 3 ways in which we could promote a mental health and well-being in the globe. There are some people who are here viewing, trying to see if they could learn one or two from us. So, please, what do you have for the audience?
Thank you, Dauda. So, to continue the string of thought from talking to somebody at Gymha or talking to somebody outside of you, because you make that connection from the heart mind, you let go of your masks of what you are, what you feel that is right, and just be guided by your inner intuition. That kind of guidance is very, very powerful. And what I would say is that we must uh, come into awareness of that very strong power that exists inside us, which can guide us. And developing that inner power is what we have known for thousands of years. It's nothing new that we will start discovering. We will just rediscover and therefore renew our own selves with knowledge that is deep inside us if we just connect. Now, the problem for us and why mental health is such a big issue is that there are too many distractions outside of us. The cell phone is a distraction. The food that comes in packets is a distraction. Suddenly you feel, I don't have anything to do, let me just munch on something, chips or something like that. Or you have so many malls and so many things to shop for, and you just go out and do your something that makes the mind puts the mind down, makes the mind do nothing except work on autopilot. And that is where the source of all our well-being problems is. You see, the mind is at the center of the body, mind, and spirit. That trinity, that harmony that we want to create in the body, mind, and spirit, the mind lies exactly at the center of it. And so the mind can change the body, and the mind can change the spirit. Your spirit can go down just because you think of something negative, but your spirit can go up because you think of something positive. Now, training the mind is what my suggestion to you would. Training the mind is about looking at the mind. When you look at a monkey, the monkey looks at you. Otherwise, the monkey could be doing this and that, and eating its bananas. But the moment, or even a dog, I mean, a monkey, maybe not everybody's seen a monkey, but you look at a dog, the dog would be doing something, wagging its tail. But the moment it catches your eye to eye contact, it's still watching. It's true of monkeys, it's true of dogs, it's true of deers, it's true of any animal in nature. And our inner animal, which is our mind, is also like that. When you look at it, it looks at you. And when it looks at you, that's the time that you can reprogram it, that you can start training it. And you train it to do what? You train it to stop looking at the outer distractions and start looking at the inner attractions. There is so much to discover inside ourselves. And just by doing that, we realize, as I did with my study of ancient Oriental wisdom, we realize that this harmony of body, mind, spirit can be self-created. And once you create that, there's nothing else that you need to do to be happy because you're in awareness of what makes you happy and you trigger that state. You get into that state. So the question, viewers, is to you. Are you aware of what triggers your happiness inside? And if not, would you like to do something about it? We welcome you to GYMHA to have a conversation further on this. And to me personally, I am available at sandeepnath.com. And we can start talking about how you use your inner power to do exactly what we are doing as a global organization, and all global organizations are doing this year, making our well-being and our mental health the top priority. It's going to become a global priority. Why? Because it becomes your priority. It becomes your priority. Why? Because you decide that, yes, I can do something about it inside and start talking. So that's what I think about what we could be doing this year, Dauda. I'm glad there are more panelists. I hope everybody's audio is working again now. So let's hear from the others.
Yeah, that's a remarkable one. So, viewers, you've had it. You need to train your mind. Your mind is in control of everything. That's why you see most of the action you take today, most of the things you do today, if your mind is not in conformity with it, you won't be able to do it. So, first thing first, we need to train our mind. Let our mindset to have this perspective that our mental health and our well-being, our inner self, has the power to do and undo. So it's left for you to use it either positively or negatively, but it's better you take positively because negativity doesn't bring any good in it. It always derive you to a bad aspect. So please, Mr. Jonathan Bowie, I think is here. So let's welcome Mr. Jonathan Bowie. Please, can you hear us? Mr. Jonathan Bowie, can you hear us? We can't hear you, Mr. Jonathan. think the technical issue is all over. Kaja, can you hear us? Chidioki, Mr. Sandeep, can you hear any of the panelists, please? Okay.
No, Dauda, I can only
So,
hear you. We have three astonishing panelists over here who are having audio difficulties, so
yeah,
not
I
able
wish we
to
could
hear
hear
anybody.
from these amazing panelists that are here today, but due to technical issue, we would love to just to continue without them. But I think they are listening, and you could drop your comments and your contribution on the chat box. They will attend to it via the chat box. So thank you once again for joining us at GYMHA's live show on making mental health and well-being for all a global priority. It's very paramount you could connect to us via our website. Is on the flyer that we shared on our social media at www.gymha.com. You could also connect to us via our email address at gymha.org. So thank you for viewing and welcome to GYMHA. GYMHA welcomes everybody. And if you have a wonderful idea and a good knowledge that could promote a mental health and well-being, you could come and join GYMHA. GYMHA welcomes everybody. Even if you don't have, we are here at GYMHA to assist and train each other and to be able to cope with the society. At GymHa'S, we train and we get trained too because nobody is a monopoly of knowledge. Knowledge is being acquired from big or small, from large or medium. So anything you are having is most welcome at GymHa'S. So in as far as it's positive and it's going to impact on the world and the people at large, it's mostly welcome. You can come, it's free of charge, you don't need to make any payments, and it's easy. We connect on both WhatsApp, Facebook, LinkedIn, Telegram, and most of the social media. Thank you for promoting Jim R. You are all amazing people, and you can do better to promote your mental health and well-being. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Sandy, for joining us today in this live show, for sharing your knowledge. Thank you, Jonathan Bowie. Thank you, Kaja and Lydia. Thank you, Chidioke. We have amazing ambassadors with good experience. As for me, I would say my experience at GYMHA is very wonderful and very great. I think GYMHA has taught me on how to control some scenario concerning my environment, what it throws at me, and how to react towards it. Not everything now at my stage, it's not everything I react to. Some things I overlook it, some things I even undergo. Every morning I undergo some exercise to keep my mental state balanced. And sometimes at gym I've even learned one thing, that there's need for you to have a checklist on what you are going to do on a daily basis and how to go about it before embarking on it. So at gym I will train you in so many aspects, even at my workspace. At gym I have learned how to manage stress. I don't overwork myself that much, and even if I overwork myself, I know how to control myself to subdue the stress, because when you go through a lot of stress, it affects your physical being at large. So thank you very much, Jim R. Thank you, everyone. There are many experiences you could come and witness at Jim R at large. Thank you very much for joining us today at the live show. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Have a great day, everybody. Bye.
Have a great day all.